sun's rising slow, paint skies with gold. Coffee in hand, the stories unfold. This ain't just a show, it's where hearts align. A place to unwind, where peace we find. Cannabis drifts on the morning breeze, bringing calm to the mind, setting souls at ease. Together we gather, no need to pretend. The Cove's where the day and good vibes begin. Come on in, let the love unfold.
Come on in, let it unfold.
In the warmth of community, hearts turn gold.
Hearts turn gold.
The Cove is more than a show on display.
More than a show.
It's a place to belong, where we start the day.
We start the day.
So rise with the sun, let the blessings flow.
Let it flow.
With coffee and peace, we let the spirit grow. Some come to laugh, some come to share. Every story told shows someone's care. We lift each other, hand in hand. Through life's storms, together we stand. The circle's wide, there's room for all. No judgment here, just love's gentle call. Every morning's a chance to reset, renew, to breathe, to heal, and see life through. Come on in, let the love unfold.
Come on in, let it unfold.
In the warmth of community, hearts turn gold.
Hearts turn gold.
The Cove is more than a show on display.
More than a show.
It's a place to belong, where we start the day.
We start the day.
So rise with the sun, let the blessings flow.
Let it flow.
With coffee and peace, we let the spirit grow. It's where hearts connect.
Hearts connect.
Where hope is planted and love takes effect.
Love takes effect.
A sacred space where kindness flows.
Kindness flows.
And every soul finds a place to grow.
Let's grow.
Come on in, let the love unfold.
Come on in, let it unfold.
In the warmth of community, hearts turn gold.
Hearts turn gold.
The Cove is more than a show on display.
More than a show.
It's a place to belong, where we start the day.
We start the day.
So rise with the sun, let the blessings flow.
Let it flow.
With coffee and peace, we let the spirit grow. The morning's here with skies so clear. A new beginning, no room for fear. Coffee steams and the breeze rolls in. In this space, let our joy begin. Cannabis flows like a sweet refrain, easing our hearts, soothing our strain. We rise together, no soul alone. In the Cove where peace has grown. Lifted by the light, we rise and shine. Shine on, shine bright. A brand new day where love's divine. Friends at your side, right here by your side. We walk this path with joy as our guide. Oh joy, let it ride. The Cove's a home where kindness lives, a place where every heart forgives. The brass calls out like a morning breeze. Harmonies drift through the swaying trees. Cannabis lifts us smooth as the sea, setting us free, just you and me. With every sip, with every laugh, we find our way on this morning's path. Lifted by the light, we rise and shine. Shine on, shine bright. A brand new day where love's divine. your side, right here by your side. We walk this path with joy as our guide. Oh joy, let it ride. Let's share this load. Light our way on this morning's road. Together we rise, hearts open wide. Peace and love with the sun as our guide. Peace and sunlight. Lifted by the light we rise and shine. Shine on, shine bright. A brand new day where love's divine. With friends at your side, right here by your side. We walk this path with joy as our guide. Oh joy, let it rise. So gather around, let the spirit glow. Glow, let it glow. Together we rise, together we grow.
The sun is rising, a new day's here. Cove-TV morning show bringing the cheer. Coffee's brewing, the vibes are right. Load up that bowl, we're ready to reignite. Coming up next is the show you know. Cove-TV morning, where good vibes flow. Hit that like, don't forget to share. Tag your friends, let them all be there. From early dawn to the morning light, Cove-TV's here to make it bright. We've got the news, the fun, the groove. So grab your coffee, get in the mood. Coming up next, it's the show you know. Cove-TV morning, where good vibes flow. Hit that like, don't forget to share. Tag your friends, let them all be there. The day's just starting, the energy's high. Cove-TV morning, it's time to fly. We've got the tunes, the laughs, the fun. So settle in, the show's just begun. Whether you're waking up or just getting in, Cove-TV morning is where you begin. With coffee in hand and a smile so wide, we're bringing the sunshine, come on, ride the tide. Coming up next is the show you know. Cove-TV morning, where good vibes flow. Hit that like, don't forget to share. Tag your friends, let them all be there. Cove-TV morning, the place to be. With coffee, a bowl, and community. So start your day with us in tow. Cove-TV morning, let's start the show. Cove-TV morning, the place to be. With coffee, a bowl, and community. So start your day with us in tow. Cove-TV morning, let's start the show.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button!
absolutely terrific Twisted Titty Tie-Dye Turkey Taco Token Tunes Tuesday morning, everybody. How is everybody's Tuesday going so far? It's been a super rainy day here. It's like fucking pouring off and on. It's been a pretty good day. Some crazy wind last night. Cheers, cheers. Good morning, Bree. How are you? Hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Crystal. How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Ash. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. I hope Kate had a good birthday yesterday. Good morning, Amber. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Heather. How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Let's probably do some sunrises, too. Go like that. There we go. Oh, I just noticed that. Good morning, Kay. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, brother Gary. How are you, man? Hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday morning. Good morning, Vicki. How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Ma. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday morning. Good morning, CJ. How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Britt. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday morning. Hope everybody's off to a dope-ass start to their day. If you have not got your Getting Stoned ordered in, please do. Bree getting, Crystal stoned, Ash again, Amber with, Heather my, Kay only, and Gary with friends. Let's wake and bake, y'all. Cheers, cheers.
The morning's here, the horizon glows. With every comment, a connection grows. Coffee steam rises, a comforting sight. Your smiles, your vibes make the day feel right. The Cove awakens, together we shine. Each of you here is a blessing divine. Cannabis sparks and the laughter flows. In this sunrise moment, the magic shows. Wake up with you, it's a beautiful start. The Cove's a place that's close to my heart. Each voice, each laugh, a melody true. Sunrise sessions wouldn't shine without you. Through every dawn, we've built this bond. Of light stretching far and beyond. Rolling the herb, sharing the brew. Moments like this feel sacred with you. The rhythm of life, gentle and kind, echoes in hearts with peace intertwined. Together we stand as the morning breaks. A sunrise with you is all it takes. Wake up with you, it's a beautiful start. The Cove's a place that's close to my heart. Each voice, each laugh, a melody true. Sunrise sessions wouldn't shine without you. Wake up with you, it's a beautiful start. The Cove's a place that's close to my heart. Each voice, each laugh, a melody true. Sunrise sessions wouldn't shine without you. Every smile you share, every story told, a treasure we hold, more precious than gold. You lift the light, you brighten the way. The Cove feels alive,
Hey, good morning, Mama Roo. How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. For real, Ma, I wish they'd fucking turn the camera a little bit. The other camera don't work. We can't even see the dang sunrise, but it's still beautiful. All right. If you have not, please get your Getting Stoned word in. I need... Okay, Getting Stoned again. With... Gary, you want to drop that word friends, buddy? That should work. It's a dope ass Tuesday. We got This Day in History coming up after 4:20. We got our timeline segment today. We are live back on the Cove page. Let's go. Me and Kossi were doing some playing around last night. Hey, what up, Nikki? Good morning, dear. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. And we did figure out that we were able to go live on the Cove page for the retoke. So we're gonna keep rocking the morning shows over here for now, as long as we can. I'm not sure. I still haven't heard back from Facebook on anything from my personal account. So I emailed them again this morning, and we'll see. I got a couple other ideas of what to do, but yeah. So I don't know. Hey, thank you, Gary. But some Guardians of Unity this afternoon. Let's fucking go. I'm not sure how many chapters we'll have. It's been kind of a weird weekend, but we'll get what we can get in. And then Token News tonight with the Rise and Fall. Don't fucking miss it. It's gonna be amazing. 9 p.m. Eastern time only on the Sir Cops a Lot page. Don't miss out. It's gonna be amazing. Other than that, pretty chilling day. It's fucking pouring here up and on. Morgan is still sleeping-ish. Yeah, she's still sleeping. Hey, get some rest, Tommy. We'll catch you later, man. Have a wonderful morning, brother. Other than that, it's gonna be it's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited, Amber. Great retoke last night. Congratulations, Amber, on your Stoner Roulette win yesterday. Great. Who the fuck knows last night? Man, that was a difficult one. It was a tricky one. Weird. It is 43 degrees here, CJ. Let me see, make double check. But okay, I got 48. Feels like 43. Shut up, weather. We'll be here, Vicki. Other than that, we are 5 minutes out from 4:20. What do all of you amazing folks got going on for your day? Anybody got anything cool or fancy or fun or fantastic? Or are you saving up for Friday? Sorry, I had to. Hey, good morning, Magic. How are you, brother? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Hopefully Jack Hill is doing well this morning. Yeah, it's a ridiculous sunrise this morning. And that boat is moving. Let me... 1 second. I'm going to cheat something real quick. I want to look at something. Oh, it's not really actually moving. It's just... It's anchored out there, so it's bouncing all around. So, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. I thought that fucker... I mean, I guess it is moving. But it's not coming this way. Three minutes out, everybody. It's fucking windy, though. It was crazy windy last night. Morgan was not a fan of the wind. But it's all good. It's good. Yeah, I'm gonna work on some Guardians of Unity stuff. Try to get the merch store stuff figured out. That kind of... I'm like 3 logos out from having that done. And then that got all fucked. Well, not that, like the Facebook shit. That put a stop to everything else I was working on. Good morning, Daniel. How are you, man? Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning. yeah, and other than that, I don't really know a whole lot. Just chilling. Hopefully I get the Facebook shit figured out because I miss the sub chat. I miss hanging out with all you guys and talking to you guys. It's such bullshit. Hey, good morning, Annie. How are you? Hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday morning. Hopefully I hear back from Facebook today. I'm literally just gonna keep emailing them. And yeah, see what happens. It's all right. Dang, that was a big one. I don't know if you guys saw that. Looks fucking cold. I was listening to this documentary. It's like an 8-part series. And it's called The Last War, or Last Heroes, and it's about a bunch of the soldiers who stormed the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. It was fucking really good. It was really good. I'm listening and watching that, and then Battle 360 on the History Channel YouTube. I don't know. I'm a super huge history buff. Like, it's super interesting. 1 minute out. For real, Annie? You were at the same storm? It was creepy. There's a couple times I was like, man, Morgan, I don't know if we're going to make it through this. But we made it through this. Guard dog my ass. I'm the one laying there with her like, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm like, I don't know if it's really okay, Morgan. But it was fine. She's sleeping. Happy 420, everybody. Cheers.
Smoke weed every day.
Especially on Tuesday when it's Token Tunes and the Rising Fall is the special guest. Cheers. For real, okay. Like, that shit's crazy. Oh, here we go. Oh, that is a big one. Not that one, but the next one's going to be a big one, I think. Maybe not. Oh, maybe. Yeah, that was a pretty decent one. I'll take it. Does anybody have anything cool going on today? That's wild, Danny. I'm glad everybody's okay. There was a couple gusts last night I was fucking pretty nervous about. I was like, yo, this bitch is gonna be flying. Dude, that's a good one too. It'd be cool to go see that shit, but it seems really cold down there. Look at, I mean, that fucking, it's super windy. I don't like that. That's such bullshit. That ship is totally moving, just not going anywhere. It's very, I don't know. Fuck you with me. Misconceiving? Is that the right word? That could be the right word. Yeah, I don't know. If you guys were looking for like an informational morning show, I'm super sorry. I got no informations for you. See if I can think of something. I got nothing. I'm glad we're back on the Cove page. Much love, Costy. I appreciate the fucks out of you letting us use your page. But I'd rather be on the dang Cove page. That's not how you spell Thursday at all. Hey, weird. I like those things too, Amber. I love to chill and smoke and listen to music. That's like the Retoke is, I don't know. I love all the shows. It's crazy to be like, oh, this is my favorite show or that's my favorite show, because then another show will come around and I'm like, but I like this one too. Don't make me choose. But the Retoke is so much fun. Token Tunes is so much fun. I just love the music aspect of it. Of like, you know, we've got shows where we hang out and bullshit. I like the fact of the show that we are just like, let's listen to music. I fucking love it. All right, we'll play another song then. I don't know. Cheers.
Your worries slide, clouds above and calm inside. the wave, float and fade, let the moment save.
Hey, good morning, Angela. How are you, dear? Hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday morning. I hope you had a good birthday yesterday. All right. Let me go with, oh, man. There we go. All right, one second. There we go. Wow. Now I can just go like this, and like that. Woohoo! Sorry, I was just making things a lot easier on me for futureness. All right, here we go. This day in history, May 20th, with the Vickiest Bowers of them all, y'all. She's pretty dope.
Welcome back. Today we'll take a look at the unexpected, the powerful, and the feel-good. From a word that captures the magic of happy accidents to a bold act that reshaped the American frontier and a Cold War-era operation with far-reaching impact. We're covering some serious ground. The icing on this cake is a tune that reminds us all to slow down and savor the moment. So grab your favorite cuppa, sit back, and check it out. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for May 20th. May 20th is the 140th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 141st in leap years, with 235 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is serendipity. Serendipity is a noun that means the faculty or phenomenon of finding a valuable or agreeable thing not sought for, or an instance of this. This is a complicated way of expressing good luck or an unexpected happy find. A couple of example sentences might include, "What's serendipity to stumble onto this lovely old bookstore where they just happened to have a book I've wanted for years?" Or, "Fear turned into serendipity when she stopped into the little cafe where she met the people who could and did help her get her where she was trying to go." The word serendipity comes to us from a Persian fairy tale. First known use of the word serendipity is 1754. Serendipity. And with that, in the 1800s, the people of the United States were spreading across the North American continent. On May 20th, 1862, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Homestead Act into law. The Homestead Act had been created in an effort to encourage people to settle and develop the territories. Great opportunity for all sorts of people. With a few exceptions, one had to be at least 21 years of age or the head of a household and be a U.S. citizen or intend to become one. The homesteader then had to live on the property, build a dwelling, and cultivate a portion of the land for at least 5 years. Once these were achieved, the homesteader could pay a small fee and apply for a land patent or deed, and then they would become the legal owner of the property. This wasn't as easy as it sounds, and some people were not able to prove out, as in building a building, cultivating land, and living there for 5 years, and Native American tribes got displaced right and left. But here we are, many of us west of the Mississippi River, because our ancestors took advantage of the Homestead Act. The Homestead Act, by the way, remained in effect until the enactment of the Federal Land Policy and Management Act of 1976. From May to July of 1956, the United States conducted a series of nuclear test detonations at the Bikini and Eniwetok atolls in the Pacific Ocean. This series was called Operation Red Wing, and it was on May 20th, 1956, that the first airborne hydrogen bomb of Operation Red Wing was dropped over the Bikini Atoll. Today's song is Groovin' by the Young Rascals. Written by Felix Cavallari and Eddie Brigatti of the Young Rascals, this song was different from their usual type of song. In fact, Atlantic Records didn't want to release it as a single at first, but the group had a friend in the industry, disc jockey Murray the K, who loved it and intervened on their behalf to convince Atlantic to release it as a single. It came out in April of 1967 and was pretty much an instant hit, reaching number 1 status on the Billboard Hot 100 on May 20th, 1967 for the first of 2 weeks. Groovin' has been covered by several other artists, and the Young Rascals have also recorded it in other languages. Groovin' by the Young Rascals, number 1, May 20th, 1967, link in the description. How about that? Isn't it something the way history and language have a way of surprising us? Like stumbling across something wonderful when you weren't even looking. Whether it's the unplanned promise of serendipity, homesteaders chasing a new life, or even a Sunday afternoon, grooving with no particular place to go, each moment carries the potential to change everything. Now for today's quote, I've been collecting quotes since I started including them in the videos, and as I was looking through my quote collection for today's video, I saw this one and I thought, well, that'll fit right in. Today's quote is by Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher and student of Socrates, who said, "The beginning is the most important part of the work." Alrighty, y'all, take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, you can check out the playlists in the description. You can find me on BitChute, Facebook, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X, as well as on a blog page called No Really. All those links are in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.
Much love, Vicki B. Get me off this fucking big screen. There we go. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Thank you so much for riding through all the bullshit with us. We super duper appreciate it, Vicki. Everything that you do to help the Cove to this day in history. That segment is amazing. It's come so far. It's just, like, I've always loved her segments, but like when you go back to look at one from like 2022 to like one from this year, night and day difference. They're incredible. I am like chomping at the bit to get a quote of my own up on her show. I gotta figure a good one out. I've got like a couple that are original to me, but they're all kind of silly, and so I'm trying to love Vicki B. She's so amazing. Please make sure you're following her on all of the platforms that she mentioned, and yeah. So I was looking real quick. That ship hasn't fucking moved in like a long time, since last night for sure. So I'm betting it's probably coming in today. I don't know. Should we see what it is? We can see what it is. I don't want to be this big. So I'm gonna have to go like ship Worldships.com. I don't know. I'm just making up websites. Ship tracker. Marinetraffic.com. Here we go. There's so many boats in the world, everybody. If you don't know how many boats there are in the world, this is how many boats there are in the world. This is land. These are boats. There's so many boats. All of the boats. All right, we got to go to yonder way. Right there, I bet. Nope. Over here. It's going to be this guy. All right. The Algoma Buffalo. We've seen that one come in before. Seven. That's not. That can't be correct. Oh, I'm not paying shit. Get out of here. Yep, it's at anchor. It's been at anchor for a while. Asinobine? That is crazy, Ma. Positive vibes to the people that were affected by that. That shit was crazy. American Integrity. So yeah, we look like right here out, but there's so much to the harbor. And it all goes in. I don't think they can go this far in. Maybe they can. I don't fucking know. It's a big ass river. Where's it go? We gotta be in Canada. We in Canada yet? No? Not yet. Look, marinetraffic.com. It's crazy. Look at all the boats. There's boats in this bitch. Boat, sorry. I hate that shit. I just wanted to see if we could see what time it was coming into port, but it don't say that. What up, Cornbread?
What up?
Good morning. How are you?
Very, very sore.
Oh no. The hand, just like the hand area, or like all of the cornbread.
Just the hand. I don't know what happened, but I woke up and it was all fucking tingling and numb.
Damn. I can try to see if there's a cam on Lake Erie, but I don't know if there is. All right, everybody, we'll give it a couple minutes. If you want a good morning from Cornbread, you got to say good morning back. Or first, I think. That's how that works. It's been a pretty good morning, though, so far. This day in history was good. That's pretty much as far as we made it. Yeah, or you could have, like, rolled in your sleep and fucking hit that son of a bitch on something. Do you have, like, a hard brace that you can put around it at night?
No.
You should. I don't know, maybe you should.
It comes off tomorrow night.
All right, you ready, Cornbread?
Yep. Good morning, Kay. Good morning, CJ. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Ma. Good morning, Bree. Good morning, Brittany. As far as I got.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Much love.
We just been chilling and smoking and joking, and it's Token Tunes Tuesday.
Say it.
Totally terrific, twist titty tie turkey taco Token Tunes Tuesday.
Yeah.
See, I feel like if I challenge him in the morning, I would get him. I don't know what it is about the afternoon. He always wins in the afternoon, but I feel like I say it faster and better in the morning. But it could be the coffee. Maybe it's the coffee.
Maybe it is. Thanks, Mom. I probably did sleep on it wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a doctor, but I would say maybe like try to find a hard brace or something like that that keeps it from moving around so much. And then if you do hit something, that takes the blunt of it instead of.
I'm wondering if I gotta call them and ask them, but.
And it could have been for real. Like your arm could have been up and all the fucking shit drained out of it. I don't know.
I don't know. But this comes off tomorrow.
And then
Ryan's gotta clean it up and shit. I'm not fucking with the stitches. I won't look at them.
Oh, so you're just, and then you gotta rewrap it and whatnot?
Yeah, I gotta keep it covered.
So it's just like ace wrap?
Yeah. Ryan's gonna like
gotta
like bandage it up a little bit, like with gauze pads and shit. And then stitches come out next week.
Hopefully it's just a off day, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully tomorrow it feels better. Hopefully it starts feeling better throughout the day.
I hope so.
But do you want to smoke a bowl? Or a blunt, or I don't know if you have the access to smoke something. It's like, I'll fucking figure it out.
I have to grind weed.
Oh, no. How does that work? Yeah.
I'm going to take this bud. And I'm going to I can break it up. And then I'm going to send it over to Ryan. And all he's got to do is grind it.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I can take my own stitches out. Depends on where they were. Can you take ibuprofen, Mom wants to know?
Yes, I do. I have 2 pain pills left. I'm probably going to pop one of those here in a minute.
Could you, could you break the pain pills in half and take a half at a time?
Yeah.
I don't know if that would help. Maybe make them
what
last.
I've been doing.
Yeah.
When Kay told me that and take it every 2 hours, that's what I've been doing. But now that I only have 2 left, I mean, I probably.
Yeah, that was a trick I learned when I had an issue with those things. Just break them in half; they'll last longer. I'm gonna grab a copy real quick, cornbread.
All right. Let's see. I can call and get more. I mean, probably not a lot more, but probably a couple to make it through.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think I can do it with this. Oh, maybe. Can I?
Oh my goodness! Don't fucking hurt yourself. I can see you down there, like trying to like something like.
No, I'm trying to use my cable.
Oh Jesus Christ!
To grind it, but it's not working. So over to Ryan I go.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand that for sure. I've had my bouts. I wish we could pan our camera. A panorama camera. Panorama. Pan camera. Holy shit, I wonder if that's how they figured out that word. It's a camera that pans. A panorama. That just kind of blew my mind a little bit. Don't miss Token Tunes tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, only on Sir Cops the Lot page with special guests, The Rising Fall. Make sure that you are following them. They are a dope-ass band. Beautiful, like vocalism. The singing is ridiculous. And then Guardians of Unity this afternoon. We'll see how many. We can get a few chapters in, I'm hoping. And, yeah, those Wacket grinders are fucking ridiculous. The only thing that I don't like about the Wacket grinders is there's no Keith collection. But, I mean, that's fine. If it's not a big deal to you or whoever, you know, that's a personal opinion type thing. Sorry, I got a whole bunch of Keith in my fucking grinder. Anyway.
Ryan brought me down mine.
Holy shit, I do have some Keith in here. Yeah, see, that's it. Yep, that's just like mine-ish. I think you've got an extra level. Good morning, Erica. How are you, dear?
Good morning. This has a fidget spinner on it, but Ryan's got to fix it.
Oh, okay. Because, yeah, my grinder's old as a muddy trucker. It's an old American. Oh, it's a canister grinder. Oh, there went my nickel. Nickel, come back. Yeah, it's an old ass canister grinder. Had that grinder for, I would say, at least 15 years. My 1E box, I've had that for over 20 years now. No. Grinder 10 years. This one probably 12 years. 20 years is way too long.
Yeah, I broke the fidget spinner. Like, it just needs a screw. Go back in. And Ryan still has the fidget spinner. And he's going to fix it for me. So I can sit here and play with a fidget spinner.
We'll play a song and smoke and jump into our Timeline Tuesday segment. We're in 1976. Let's go. Cheers, everybody.
We got the vibes on high, rolling smooth. Energy electric locked in the groove. Beats are kicking, clouds drifting by. Riding these waves, reaching the sky. Vibes on high, moving with flow. Feeling alive as the rhythm grows. Dancing free, no limits, no lie. With the crew, just vibes on high. Oh, yeah, yeah. Vibes are high, no coming down. We got the vibes on high, rolling smooth. Energy electric, locked in the groove. Beats are kicking, clouds drifting by. Riding these waves, reaching the sky. Vibes on high, moving with flow. Feeling alive as the rhythm grows. Dancing free, no limits, no lie. With the crew, just vibes on high. Just vibes on high. We got the vibes on high, rolling smooth. Energy electric, locked in the groove. Beats are kicking, clouds drifting by. Riding these waves, reaching the sky. Vibes on high, moving with flow. Feeling alive as the rhythm grows. Dancing free, no limits, no lie. With the crew, just vibes on high. We got the vibes on high, rolling smooth. Energy electric, locked in the groove. We got the vibes on high, rolling smooth. Energy electric, locked in the groove. Beats are kicking, clouds drifting by. Riding these waves, reaching the sky. Vibes on high, moving with flow. Feeling alive as the rhythm grows. Dancing free, no limits, no lie. With the crew, just vibes on high. Oh, yeah, yeah. We got the vibes on high, rolling smooth. Energy electric, locked in the groove. We got the vibes on high, rolling smooth. Energy electric, locked in the groove.
All right, everybody. 1976. I wasn't there, but it's a pretty dope year, in my understanding. All right, here we go.
"1976 began to lay the groundwork for its upcoming sequel, the 1980s. America celebrated its 200th year, as several prominent figures from the first half of the 20th century faded into the sunset to make room for the next generation of trend-setting icons and world leaders. After the uncertainty of the previous year, 1976 brought with it some welcome promises of hope for the future, including an exciting new space program and the election of a folksy new president, untouched by...
Good morning, yeah. How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. We're just starting our Timeline Tuesday segment. you're having a wonderful morning.
The stain of Watergate. But it wasn't all floral prints and disco. Unrest and injustice were still rampant around the globe, and the streets of New York City would be darkened by the arrival of one of history's most notorious criminals. We're going to talk about the news, culture, sports, and entertainment, and all that was weird in the 70s. This is Timeline. You talking to me? You must be talking to me, because this episode is all about 1976. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel and let us know in the comments below your favorite 70s fashion trend. Now don't get too close to that Pinto, because this is 1976. The year kicked off with the moving of a national monument. The Liberty Bell was relocated from Philadelphia's Independence Hall to a newly constructed pavilion a short distance away in Independence National Historic Park on January 1st, in celebration of America's bicentennial. Bit of a sad gift. Nobody wants to reorganize their antiques on their 200th birthday. The Liberty Bell has remained in its new home ever since. Famed mystery writer Agatha Christie passed away on the 12th of January, and the murderer is someone in this room. Just kidding. Christie passed away of natural causes at her home, Winterbrook House, at the age of 85. She is often referred to as the most influential mystery writer to ever put pen to paper, and remains one of the best-selling authors of all time.
Hi, I'm Donnie.
And I'm Marie. I understand.
Even the way I did it was difficult.
Sure.
Well, look, man, it's not easy working with a dummy.
The doomed supersonic airliner Concorde took its first commercial flight on January the 21st. 2 flights departed simultaneously from London's Heathrow Airport and France's Orly Airport, bound for Bahrain and Rio de Janeiro, respectively. Although the high-speed plane could carry passengers across the Atlantic in less than half the time, the Concorde never managed to catch on. Only 16 of the planes were sold and were used exclusively to fly from London and Paris to New York until July 20th, 2000, when an Air France Concorde crashed shortly after takeoff, claiming the lives of over 100 passengers and crew.
You could hear the aircraft, you could see the black smoke, and you could see tremendous flames coming out the back.
The Concorde never recovered and took its final commercial flight just over 3 years later on October 24th, 2003.
Well, we got to get out of here. Well, what do you suggest I do? Flap my arms real hard and head toward the window?
Finishing out the month, future Dana Carvey impersonation George H.W. Bush became the director of the CIA on the 30th.
Good morning, Boxman. How are you, man? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. We're just hanging out. We're just started our Timeline Tuesday segment. Hope you're having a dope-ass morning, brother.
Anybody dumb enough to accept the job is too dumb to do it.
Bush had previously served 2 terms in the House of Representatives and was a UN ambassador under Richard Nixon. But he wouldn't hang on to the CIA gig for long. Bush resigned from the position exactly 1 year later, following the election of President Jimmy Carter. Geez, George, let us know how you really feel. Moving into February, Nobel Prize-winning physicist Werner Heisenberg passed into the theoretical plane on the 1st. Heisenberg is credited as the father of quantum mechanics, including the famous uncertainty principle, which bears his name. But he was also a man of some dubious distinction. He was instrumental in developing Germany's nuclear program during World War II, as well as inspiring a certain New Mexico chemistry teacher 3 decades later.
Say my name.
You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me?
Rebel without a cause actor Sal Mineo was fatally wounded by a knife-wielding mugger on February 12th. He had been returning home from rehearsals for an upcoming play when he was attacked while parking his car behind his apartment. Mineo succumbed to his wounds, passing away at the age of 37. A pizza delivery driver named Lionel Ray Williams was convicted of the crime and sentenced to life in prison, but was paroled in 1990 after serving just 12 years. The next day, American figure skating champ Dorothy Hamill took home the gold medal for ladies singles at the 1976 Winter Olympics in Innsbruck, Austria. Hamill's medal-winning performance included her signature move, a camel spin into a sit spin dubbed the Hamill Camel.
And a final scratch spin. A performance without any flaws.
We'll be right back.
Dorothy Hamill for Clairol, short and sassy.
The longest it was about just to the top of my shoulders.
Yeah.
Straight bangs. And I used to pull it back like this. Now with short hair, I need more body. So I use Clairol Short and Sassy, the conditioner for short hair. Even after blow drying, Short and Sassy makes it shiny and gives it body. And let's face it, without body, short hair is just short hair.
Clairol, short and sassy, with twice the protein of the leading conditioner.
For the short and sassy look.
Hurtling into March, the largest observed meteorite in history fell to Earth near Jilin City in China during a massive meteor shower on the 8th. The record-setting chunk of space rock weighed nearly 4,000 pounds, or roughly the same as 1.8 million Dennis Eckersley rookie cards. To date, it remains the biggest observed meteor to strike the planet. Heavy, man. The Who's hard-partying drummer Keith Moon collapsed in the middle of a show at the Boston Gardens on March 9th. The English rock band had just started their set when Moon simply toppled over behind his drum kit. At the time, singer Roger Daltrey chalked the incident up to a bad case of the flu, but it was later revealed that Moon had suffered a near-fatal overdose of booze and prescription pills. Moon bounced back in time to play a makeup show a month later, but his luck would run out before the end of the decade. More on that in 2 years. 2 weeks later, Argentine President Isabel Perón was overthrown in a military coup on the 24th.
El país transita por una de las etapas más difíciles de su historia.
Perón, the third wife of former President Juan Perón, took office after her husband's death in 1974, during a period of extreme socio-political unrest. Jorge Rafael Videla, the general who led the military junta against Perón, controlled Argentina for the next several years, in a reign notorious for human rights abuses and one of the worst financial crises in the nation's history. Booting up April, Apple Computer was founded in Los Altos, California, by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne on the 1st. Their first product, the Apple I, was designed and built by Wozniak, entirely by hand. Jobs, a college dropout with no background in computing, set up the company in his parents' garage. He had an idea that the personal computer, which at the time was considered an extremely niche item for hobbyists, could become the indispensable product of the future. Stay tuned to see how that works out for him. Or just check out the logo on whatever device you're using to watch this video. Pretty good odds it might be a piece of fruit. The same day, experimental artist Max Ernst packed away his earthly brushes at age 84. A prolific Renaissance man, Ernst was a poet as well as a sculptor and painter, and is considered one of the fathers of Dadaism and Surrealism.
Charles Manson, the father, his family, and their legacy of Helter Skelter. Now, Lorimar Productions brings to full life Helter Skelter, the #1 bestseller, the true story of the Charles Manson murder.
Renowned industrialist, aviator, and film producer Howard Hughes passed away on April 5th at age 70. One of the most powerful and influential figures of the 20th century, Hughes spent the final decade of his life in extreme seclusion as a result of his declining mental and physical health. In fact, Hughes was so secretive during those last years that many didn't believe he had actually died, and conspiracy theories about the billionaire supposedly faking his death circulated for years.
Follow the money. What do you mean? Where? Oh, I can't tell you that.
Staying with books, literary horror author Anne Rice published her debut novel, Interview with the Vampire, on April 12th. The book was the first installment of Rice's popular Vampire Chronicles series and would go on to sell over 8 million copies. It was eventually adapted into a 1994 film of the same name, starring Tom Cruise and some unknown actor named Brad Pitt.
Flesh and blood, but not human.
Barbara Walters made broadcast history 10 days later, when she became the first female anchor of a nightly network newscast on the 22nd. Walter would co-anchor ABC Evening News with Harry Reasoner for the next 2 years, until a visible on-air tension between the two led her to leave the show in 1978. But don't worry, she landed on her feet. Walters would go on to become one of the most influential broadcast journalists and interviewers of the 20th century.
We'll be right back.
Radio Shack has the perfect gift for pedal pushers. The famous Archer bicycle radios that let you play Santa for as little as $9.95. Or give the original Road Patrol radio with built-in horn and reflector. Or really make them happy with this deluxe AM/FM model. All three disconnect quickly for safekeeping or off-bike use. Low-cost Archer bike radios. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Former Yardbirds frontman Keith Relf accidentally electrocuted himself with his guitar on May 14th, passing away at age 33. Relf had been noodling around with his instrument in the basement when he stepped on a gas pipe. Because his guitar wasn't grounding, the contact with the metal pipe sent a fatal electric current through his body. Relf left behind an enduring music legacy with the Yardbirds, where he played alongside future giants Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, and Eric Clapton. Staying with the music theme, The Who played the loudest concert in recorded history at the time on the last day of May. The show, played at the Valley Stadium in Charlton, London, thrashed out an eardrum-destroying 126 decibels at a distance of 100 feet from the stage. For reference, a jet engine clocks in at around 150 decibels. Guess we know why Tommy was deaf. The concert earned The Who the nickname, the loudest band in the world. Controversial billionaire and Timeline recurring character J. Paul Getty kicked the extremely wealthy bucket on the 6th of June. The abduction of Getty's grandson, J. Paul Getty III, and Getty's subsequent refusal to pay his grandson's ransom had dominated headlines 3 years earlier. An avid art collector, Getty left a sizable chunk of his massive fortune, still considered to be one of the largest personal fortunes in history, to the J. Paul Getty Museum in Los Angeles, California.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
It's time for the Family Feud.
Sexy garment worn by women. 3 answers remain.
How about high boots? Boots.
Tells me a little more about you than the old high boot. Sure.
Baseball legend Hank Aaron hit the final home run of his storied career on the 20th of July. Aaron swatted his 755th dinger while playing for the Milwaukee Brewers in a game against the California Angels. He hung up his bat at the end of the 1976 season, but would continue in Major League Baseball as an executive for the Atlanta Braves, where he had played for most of his career. Finishing out July, a notorious name claimed his first victim on the 29th. 18-year-old Donna Loria and 19-year-old Jody Valenti were sitting in a car just after 1 a.m. when a strange man approached them and opened fire with a .44 caliber pistol. Loria perished instantly, but Valenti survived and gave a description of her attacker. The murderer would come to be known as the Son of Sam, coined in a series of letters he mailed to police, and would terrorize New York City for an entire year. Kicking off August, the Seattle Seahawks took the field for the first time in a preseason game against the San Francisco 49ers. The Seahawks joined the league as part of a plan to expand the NFL from 26 to 28 teams. The other team was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who finished their inaugural 1976 season at 0-14. The first team in history to finish the season without a single win, under the leadership of head coach and genuine zinger machine, John McKay.
So we made up for it by not tackling.
On the same day, and staying with sports, famed Formula One driver Niki Lauda suffered a shocking crash at the German Grand Prix. Lauda's car went off the track on a sharp curve and caught fire, with Lauda trapped inside. Italian driver Arturo Marzario managed to pull him out, but not before Lauda suffered severe burns that resulted in the loss of one ear and both eyelids. Everyone was so certain Lauda's ticket had been punched that he was actually given last rites at the hospital. But the driver made a full recovery and returned to racing just 6 weeks later.
We'll be right back.
What makes this television different from any other in the world? This button. it brings you a home video game built in, a Magnavox exclusive. One touch and it's Magnavox Color TV with a color picture of astonishing clarity. Touch again, and it's Odyssey, America's favorite home video game. Why settle for just color TV when now you can have a built-in home video game too? Only from Magnavox.
Oh, wait, man. Look, Millie will be here in case Steve comes on back here. Now, come on, let's get going. Say what?
I'm not going out there alone at night.
Don't tell me you're afraid, little brother.
All right, Raj, you tell him.
He's afraid.
Thank you, Raj.
Esteemed television journalist Tom Brokaw joined the Today Show on August 30th. Brokaw would co-anchor the show with Jane Pauley for the next 5 years. A relatively new face in news media at the time, Brokaw would go on to become one of the most recognizable and trusted media figures of the 20th century.
Hey, Fonzie, can you get that?
I get it, Kermit. Hello, Muppet Show backstage.
Who was it?
The water department.
Mao Zedong, the chairman of the Chinese Communist Party and one of the most prominent figures of the Cold War, passed away at the wizened age of 82. Initially a staunchy enemy of all things Western, towards the end of his life, Chairman Mao began to view the Soviet Union as a greater threat to China than the United States, and had begun to try and repair relations with America, which had resulted in President Richard Nixon's visit to the communist nation 4 years earlier. The next day, outspoken screenwriter Dalton Trumbo dotted his last I, passing away at age 70. Trumbo had been a major figure of the Hollywood blacklist when Congress appointed the House Un-American Activities Committee to investigate the threat of secret communist influence that had allegedly infiltrated the motion picture industry. Trumbo had refused to testify before the committee and was briefly imprisoned. He and several others suspected of being communist agents were blacklisted from working in film for the next few decades. 7 days later, NASA unveiled its first space shuttle, the appropriately named Enterprise. The $10 billion shuttle was revealed during a ceremony at Rockwell International's manufacturing plant in Palmdale, California, which was attended by the cast of Star Trek. Except for Shatner, he will not be upstaged, even by NASA.
How are you going to stop
Keep shorts on, Mail. I ordered a hamburger. What's this?
What's the difference? It's dead.
I'm not so sure.
To finish out September, musician Jerry Lee Lewis shot his bass player Butch Owens in the chest on the 29th. But not to finish Owens, who survived what Lewis insisted was an accidental shooting. Lewis was no stranger to unfavorable headlines. He'd previously earned stacks of notoriety for marrying his 13-year-old cousin Myra, and for the mysterious demise of 2 of his other wives, including many other run-ins with the law. Do you think there's a reason Lewis was nicknamed the Killer? Speaking of which, the Supreme Court rescinded its ban on the death penalty on the 4th of October. The ban had previously been set 4 years earlier in the case of Furman v. Georgia, in which the court ruled that the death penalty constituted cruel and unusual punishment. However, the capital sentences that had been reduced to life imprisonment by the ban weren't reinstated, most notably that of Charles Manson. Now, there's some luck, Chuck. 2 days later, terrorists attacked Cubana Flight 455 while the plane was en route to Jamaica from Barbados. 2 bombs detonated mid-flight, plunging the aircraft into the sea and claiming the lives of all 73 people on board, including all 24 members of Cuba's national fencing team, who had just swept the Central American and Caribbean Championships. Officially, the attack was credited to the group the Coordination of United Revolutionary Organizations, although rumors swirled that the CIA may have been involved. Speaking of frightening developments, the Ebola virus was identified for the first time under a microscope on the unluckiest day of the spookiest month. CDC virologist Frederick A. Murphy took a look at what he thought was a sample of Marburg virus from Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, only to see the now famous shepherd's crook shape. According to the World Health Organization, the virus has a mortality rate of anywhere from 25 to 90%, and there have been over 24 outbreaks of Ebola since its discovery.
We'll be right back.
Ford
introduces the brand new Pinto Pony MPG. This 2.3-liter Pinto has a wider stance, more road-hugging weight, and a bigger engine than Datsun B210, Toyota Corolla, Honda, Opel, Fiat, VW Beetle, Rabbit, Dasher, and Chevette, yet still has EPA estimates of 38 miles per gallon highway, 25 city. Your actual mileage may vary. The Pinto Pony MPG. The closer you look, the better we look.
Jimmy Carter was elected the 39th President of the United States on November 2nd. Carter, the Democratic governor of Georgia, narrowly defeated incumbent Gerald Ford, who, after escaping 2 assassination attempts the previous year, was probably relieved to be done with the job.
I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being.
In mid-November, Spain's parliament voted in favor of establishing a democracy after nearly 4 decades of dictatorship under Francisco Franco. The vote, which passed 429 to 59, dismantled Franco's fascist government almost 1 year to the day after his death the previous November. The country would hold its first democratic election since 1936 the following June.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, because you had the talent to become a good fighter, and instead of that, you became a leg breaker, some cheap second-rate loan shark.
It's a living?
It's a waste of life.
Comic strip Kathy made its debut in newspapers 4 days later, on November the 22nd. The strip, created by an advertising vice president named Kathy Guyswhite, poked fun at the daily struggles of being a modern single woman. Kathy would appear in over 1,400 newspapers and be spun off into 3 primetime specials before ending its 34-year run in 2010. By official count, 2 of the many Kathy comic strips that were produced are actually funny. Popular Canadian...
Good morning, Donna. How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning. We're just hanging out listening to our Timeline Tuesday segment, 1976 this morning. Hope you're having a dope-ass morning.
An American rock group, the band, held their farewell concert on Thanksgiving Day at San Francisco's Winterland Ballroom. Dubbed The Last Waltz, the concert featured guest appearances by several other famous musicians, including Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Eric Clapton, Muddy Waters, and Ringo Starr. In addition to providing turkey dinners for all 5,000 of the concert's attendees, the show was filmed by an up-and-coming filmmaker named Martin Scorsese and released as a documentary film 2 years later. Moving into December, the cigar's most famous brand ambassador, Fidel Castro, became president of Cuba on the 2nd. Previously serving as Prime Minister of Cuba since 1959, Castro would retain the office of President of the Council of State and President of the Council of Ministers until 2008, when he stepped aside and let his brother Raul Castro take over. Oh, that's weird how that worked out. Castro would remain the first secretary of the Communist Party of Cuba, a title he'd held since 1961, until his death in 2011.
Don't look down.
Come on out and see how it feels in the lights.
No! There aren't any lights.
You want lights? Hey, give her lights.
Anti-apartheid activist Winnie Mandela was banished from Johannesburg on December 28th. Mandela, the second wife of fellow activist and future South African President Nelson Mandela, was forcibly relocated by the country's apartheid government and confined to Brandfort, a small remote town in the Orange Free State, now the Free State Province. Her banishment was just the more recent form of abuse and harassment she'd endured as a result of her activism. She'd previously been imprisoned, tortured, placed under house arrest, and surveilled by the government. Although her activism would continue unabated, Mandela would remain confined to Brandfort for the next 8 years. And so 1976 boogied out the door after one last waltz with a few new presidents. 1977 was up next on the jukebox, bringing with it a landmark television event, one of the biggest albums ever recorded, and an exciting adventure in a galaxy far, far away. But that's next year. Coming soon, 1977. So what do you think? What was the biggest moment of 1976? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other groovy timeline videos.
There we go. That's fucking awesome. I love the timeline segments.
Yes. Interesting.
I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. How's the wrist this morning? Are you feeling a little better or no?
Well, I mean, once the med kicks in.
I mean, I don't know. I was just curious. You smoked a few bowls and you're kind of up and moving around now, and so.
Yeah, Ryan, give me your lunch pail.
Give me your lunch pail.
What? Give me your lunchbox.
I did. You put it back, you son of a bitch.
Well, yeah. Well, what do you want me to do? Leave it over here? Leave it over here?
You know, I realized we never played our song of the day. So let's listen to our song of the day, and then and happy 420, and we'll see where we're at with our morning. Cheers, everybody.
On a Sunday afternoon, really couldn't get away too soon. I can't imagine anything that's better. The world is ours whenever we're together. There ain't a place I like to be instead of moving down a crowded avenue to anything we like to do. There's always lots of things that we can see. We can be anyone we'd like to be. And all those happy people we could meet just moving on a Sunday afternoon. Really couldn't get away too soon. No, 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 no. We'll keep on spending sunny days this way. We're gonna talk and laugh our time away. I feel it coming closer day by day. Life will be ecstasy, you and me endlessly moving on a Sunday afternoon. Really couldn't get away too soon. No, 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 no.
Such a dope song. Yes, much love, everybody. I'll get it figured out today. I'll be back. One way or another, I'll be back.
Let's come back.
I hope everybody's having a great morning. What's everybody up to this morning? Today? What has everybody got going on today?
Anything interesting?
No. Nope. I got nothing interesting. Good morning, Curly Cal. How are you? Long time no see. I hope you've been well, dear. How have you been? I've been fighting with Facebook for my profile. Oh shit, I've been open Discord in forever. I mean, I do have a Discord. That's one way people could get a hold of me. Oh, hell yeah, Boxman. That is dope, bro. See, man. You got this, brother. I've known Curly Kel for well, I don't know. Kelly Collins. I call her nickname's Curly Kel. Hope you've been well, though. Messages a Cove. You're better off messaging the Cove page itself, honestly. I should open my fucking Discord. I haven't opened that shit in forever. We do have our morning speaker coming up. So we'll play a song and see where we are at with that. I hope everybody's having a nope ass Tuesday. A totally terrific Twisted Titty Tie-Dye Turpy Taco Token Tunes Tuesday, everybody. Don't miss Token Tunes tonight, 9 p.m. with special guest The Rising Fall. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
There we go. That's the cornbread I know. You were not like that yesterday. We were more like, let's fucking go, which is fine. We don't have our days. That's the cornbread we know. Let's go.
Up, painting skies in gold. The cove awakens, a story to be told. Feel the sand in beneath, so soft, so warm. A tranquil escape where peace is born. Music flows like the morning tide, a rhythm of life we can't hide. Roll it up, let the good vibe show, a spark of bliss in the soft dawn glow. We're dancing in the dawn where the world feels alive. With every step the music lets us thrive. The touch of the sand, the rhythm so free. Moments like this are all we need. Inhale the calm, let it fill your soul. Exhale the world, let the good vibes roll. The cove and the sea, they call our song. Dancing in the dawn where we belong. Reflects on the water's face. At the cove we found our sacred space. Roll the green, let the clouds drift high. A moment of magic beneath the sky. Time slows down as the day takes hold. The cove, our temple, the sunrise gold. Feel the rhythm, let the music play. A celebration of life. Every way, we're dancing in the dawn where the world feels alive. With every step, the music lets us thrive. The touch of the sand, the rhythm so free. Moments like this are all we need. Inhale the calm, let it fill your soul. Exhale the world, let the good vibes roll. The cove and the sea, they call our song. Dancing in the dawn where we belong. We're dancing in the dawn where the world feels alive. With every step, the music lets us thrive. The touch of the sand, the rhythm so free. Moments like this are all we need. Inhale the calm, let it fill your soul. Exhale the world, the good vibes roll. The cove and the sea, they call our song. Dancing in the dawn where we belong.
For real, Box Man. Much love, man. My personal account or the Cove page? I'll check. All right. This morning we do have a Dr. K. I'm excited. Should be a good one.
My name is Dr. Alok Kanerja. I'm a Harvard-trained psychiatrist, and today we're going to talk about OCD. So obsessive compulsive disorder is characterized by two things: obsessions, which are intrusive, unwanted, and repetitive thoughts, and compulsions, which are behaviors or mental reactions, which we engage in to reduce the anxiety from our obsessions. Compulsions can be repetitive behaviors, things like washing my hands 7 times when I'm afraid I have germs, or they can even be mental reactions, like repeating certain thoughts in your head over and over and over again until that feeling of anxiety goes away. The scariest thing about OCD is that you may have it and never realize it. And even if you see a mental health professional, there is a very, very good chance that you will get misdiagnosed with something like an anxiety disorder. Let's take a look at a couple of really quick statistics. 90% of lifetime respondents with OCD met the criteria for another lifetime disorder. 79.2% of cases of OCD began after comorbid anxiety disorders. Only a minority of severe cases received treatment for OCD. So this diagnosis is incredibly easy to miss. Why is that? Because OCD feels like really bad anxiety. 65% of people with OCD rank as severely impaired on a disability scale. So why is that? So let's understand something, okay? We have 2 kinds of psychiatric illnesses. We have the psychiatric illnesses that we give names to based on how they feel, like major depressive disorder or generalized anxiety disorder. And we have other psychiatric diagnoses like OCD and schizophrenia that are named based on what causes them. So I know that sounds kind of confusing, so let me just explain, okay? So if we have something called a myocardial infarction, this is a heart attack. This means that there's a part of my heart that is not receiving adequate blood supply. Maybe I have a blocked coronary artery, so there's a part of my heart that is essentially suffocating. So myocardial infarction doesn't describe what it feels like. So when someone has an MI or a heart attack, it feels like crushing substernal chest pain. So you feel like there's an elephant sitting on your chest. So myocardial infarction is a good example of a diagnosis that is a technical diagnosis and what it feels like to a patient. If we look at the psychiatric illnesses, they also fall into those categories. So major depressive disorder feels like you're depressed all the time. Generalized anxiety disorder feels like you're really anxious. Social anxiety disorder feels like you're anxious in social situations. And then we have obsessive compulsive disorder, which based on social media portrayals and things like that, everyone's like, oh my God, I'm so OCD. Oh my God, I'm so OCD because I have to have my pens arranged in a particular way. That's not what OCD feels like. OCD feels like crippling anxiety that won't go away no matter what you do, except for the one thing that actually makes it go away. So if you're someone who has crippling anxiety and there's one thing that works, you should seriously consider getting evaluated for OCD. Like I've said, one of the most frustrating things about OCD is how often it gets misdiagnosed. People can spend years trying to manage anxiety, depression, or even something else entirely without realizing that underneath it all, it might actually be OCD. And because it's so misunderstood, it gets missed. Another study showed something like 50% of people with OCD get misdiagnosed at first, which means they don't get the right kind of support early on. And even when it is diagnosed, not every therapist is trained in the specific treatment that is effective for OCD, like exposure and response prevention, or ERP. But here's the real challenge. There's a shortage of OCD specialists out there. That's where our sponsor, NoCD, comes in. It's a telehealth platform that connects you with licensed therapists who are trained specifically in ERP. Our scientific advisory board spent some time digging into NoCD's clinical approach and how they handle things like safety and escalation. And they were genuinely impressed by the level of rigor and understanding there. So if you're dealing with intrusive thoughts, or you find yourself stuck in loops of obsessive thinking or repetitive behaviors, it might be worth talking to someone who really knows what to look for. 155 million Americans have insurance that covers the cost of their sessions, making it an affordable option for therapy. They even offer in-app support when you need help between sessions, so you're never alone.
Good morning, Deb. How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. You were so close yesterday. Oh, I was rooting for you. It was supposed to be Deb time. Much love, Deb. I hope you're having a great day.
You can schedule a free 15-minute call with NoCD using the link in the description below. So what we're going to start with is someone who is lucky enough to not have OCD. So here's you. Let's hope that you don't have OCD. So what happens is you're in a particular situation, and the situation creates a thought. The thought will create an emotion. So let's say that the situation is that my partner, who I'm in a long distance relationship, is boarding a plane and is going to come visit me. So the situation is a visit. And then I have a thought. I hope that the plane doesn't crash. I hope they're safe. I hope everything is okay. And then this thought leads to anxiety. Now, in a normal brain, someone without OCD, there are a couple of different things that can happen to this anxiety. The first thing, as I'm sure y'all are aware, is that we can habituate to it. So we have to explain this for a second, okay? Anytime we have a negative experience within our body or our mind, like let's say I feel hungry, we don't feel hungry forever, right? We feel hungry for a little while, and then my brain my body figures out, okay, we're not going to get food right now, so we're going to suppress hunger signals for some amount of time. If you wait an hour or 2 hours later, the hunger signals will come back, but our brain and our body basically suppress negative signals after a little while. Another really great example of this is like body odor. So sometimes you step into a place where like someone is a little bit smelly, or you step into, a place that's smelly, and then it smells really bad for the first few seconds. And then over time, the badness kind of goes down, right? It's not that you ever forget the smell, but that you habituate to it. So you kind of get used to it. This can be true of temperature. It can be true of smell. It can be true of hunger. It can even be true of anxiety. So if you're lucky enough to not have OCD, you'll feel anxious about something and the anxiety will naturally decrease. The second thing that we do with anxiety is that we tend to distract ourselves. So this one is my favorite. It's the funnest way to deal with your anxiety. We can do things like I've had patients who enjoy, when they're feeling anxious, getting high and playing video games. We have all these devices that give us dopamine that allow us to distract ourselves from our anxiety. Let's say I have a test on Friday and today is Monday. So the test is in 4 days. So I think to myself, oh my God, I need to study. I'm anxious about the test. Instead, I'm going to just play video games all day. So Tuesday rolls around and I'm like, oh my God, I still have this test, but I feel anxious about it. So I'm going to get high and play video games again. So I'm going to use certain mechanisms to regulate my emotions, right? So I feel bad. I'm going to do something to make the feelings go away. But then if I'm lucky, Wednesday rolls around, and this is really important. Now I've wasted 2 days, and then I have something that works, right? I can get high and play video games. But Wednesday rolls around, and I think to myself, that's not really a great idea. I really should study on this test, for this test. And y'all may know this, that there are certain days that you do the wrong thing, but there's a voice inside you that then inhibits the wrong thing. So we call this response inhibition, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to stop the emotional regulation that is unhealthy. So we'll distract ourselves for a little while. Maybe we'll spend 15 minutes on our phone, but then eventually we inhibit that response and we get back to what we should be doing. And so then hopefully what happens is once I'm inhibiting my response, then I end up taking appropriate action. So I end up basically fixing it. So this is the brain of someone who does not have OCD. We have a situation, we have a thought, we have an emotion, and we have 3 ways that we sort of deal with the emotion. We habituate to it, we distract ourselves or regulate that emotion, and then even if we're regulating that emotion, eventually we learn how to stop regulating that emotion in that way, and we take definitive action to fix our problem. So how is the brain of someone with OCD different? So the first thing that happens is the situation. So already we know that one thing is different. People with OCD have an overestimation of threat. Okay? So there's a situation. Someone is boarding a flight. If I were to ask you, are you worried that the plane will crash? A normal person may say, or a person without OCD may say, yeah, I'm worried about it. What do you think the chances are? Oh, I think the chances are less than 1%. But for someone with OCD, the chances of a plane crash are 10%. Or, I know this sounds a little bit crazy, no pun intended, and not trying to offend anyone, or the chances may be 100%. If you're someone who has a thought of a potential danger that feels like it is going to happen 100%, unless you do something about it, you may have OCD. So this creates a thought, and then this creates anxiety. So we also know that there are changes in the amygdala of people of OCD. This is our fear and threat center of the brain, and it tends to get ramped up very easily. So we are overestimating the threat and our amygdala is hyperactive, which means that we feel an intense amount of anxiety. Remember, this anxiety is so bad that it is severely disabling for 65% of people. Then we get to another problem. So remember how we habituate to negative things, like we're, in a smelly, we step into the restroom, smells really bad, but then slowly the smell kind of goes away. And then when we step out, we feel really good, but we're not tortured while we're in the bathroom the whole time. So we know that in the brains of OCD, people fail to habituate. So whereas a neurotypical brain may get used to a bad smell, a feeling of anxiety, it'll kind of tone things down. The brains of people with OCD, they fail to habituate. So they don't habituate nearly as easily. So that function doesn't work. The other thing is that they have a lot of difficulty even distracting themselves. They can try, but there is a lack of something called cognitive flexibility in OCD. So what does this mean? So when I'm worried about something, let's say I'm worried about my test on Friday, in order to distract myself with video games, my brain needs to stop thinking about the test and start thinking about video games. Even this degree of cognitive flexibility is impaired in OCD. So usually my patients with OCD will feel like once a thought gets stuck in their head, or a thought gets stuck, really lodged in there. It's like a pit bull that is bitten onto something and refuses to let go. So whereas your friends may be able to distract themselves pretty easily, they can forget about it in a way that seems completely foreign to you. You get stuck in this almost obsessive degree of anxiety. So distractions don't really work as well. And this is also associated with emotional regulation deficits. So our capacity to calm down the amygdala is impaired. Okay, so it's hard for us to calm ourselves down. It's hard for us to distract ourselves. So there's an emotional regulation deficit. Now, here's the worst part of the illness. Remember how we talked about response inhibition? So remember that, okay, so for the first 2 days on Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to get high and blah, test it on Friday. It's not that big of a deal, man. Like, whatever. I'll figure it out later. Wednesday rolls around. I'm like, that is not a good idea. I basically did something for a couple of days, and then I inhibit that response and start studying. This is the most critical thing that is impaired in OCD, because once someone with OCD finds something that works, they continue to engage in that behavior no matter the cost. So this is impaired, okay? So have some kind of thought like, oh my God, I'm going to get HIV if I touch anything in a public restroom. So they feel an intense anxiety. The anxiety is crippling. It doesn't go away. I try to distract myself. It doesn't really work. And then what happens is I wash my hands. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so anxious. I feel so anxious. So I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to wash my hands. And then what happens when I wash my hands is my anxiety improves. This is really important to understand. It is the only thing that makes my anxiety feel better. Remember, that thought sticks in your mind, doesn't actually go away. The anxiety is still there. So I think to myself, okay, let me wash them again. And then I wash them again. And now I feel, oh my God, I feel 75% better. I feel so much better. Let me make sure. Then I wash them a third time. Oh my God, that feels so much better. Now I'm 90% better. Let me watch them a fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. So OCD is actually a deficit of learning, okay? So there's anxiety and or uncertainty with goal-directed behaviors, and then a compulsivity with habitual behaviors. So our brain learns that this thing is going to work. There are brain changes as a consequence, as a cause and consequence of OCD. So now let's talk a little bit about what obsessions actually look like. So the one that we've used today is an obsession with contamination. So this is incredibly common, where people are germaphobes. They feel like they have to wash their hands. They can't touch particular things. They maybe need to shower excessively. I've seen really bad cases of that. The second obsession that's really common is danger towards yourself or others. So this can look like the scenario that we talked about, where your partner is boarding a plane. You're afraid that the plane will crash. I've had patients who will be worried every time a loved one gets into a car and has to drive somewhere. They're afraid that there'll be a crash, there'll be some kind of accident. People can be, something that people are more familiar with are like concerns about a danger about the house burning down. So this is why people will turn off and on the stove 7 times, or people will turn off and on light switches. But what's going on in their head? Unless I make sure that the light is off, maybe there's some kind of electrical signal that will cause a spark and my house will burn down. So we'll have a lot of concerns around danger. I had a patient who anytime a loved one was in transit, they would have to say a prayer in their head. It was almost like a magical protective spell where they would say the sequence of things. This person is leaving this place. They will be safe and they will arrive on time or something like that. They would say some kind of prayer and they would say that in their head 7 times every time a loved one was getting into a car or a plane or anything like that. So I hope y'all can imagine how debilitating this is, because every day when 5 p.m. rolls around and everyone is leaving work, they have to stop whatever they are doing and say this prayer 7 times for every person who they know, who they care about. Oh my God, this person is boarding a flight. They would set an alarm, repeat the prayer in their head. So compulsions can absolutely be in your head. Other forms of obsessions involve things like checking and counting. We've sort of talked about that a little bit. So what a lot of people don't realize is that obsessions can be like really nasty. So I've had patients who will have intrusive thoughts about hurting other people. I've had patients who have intrusive thoughts about sexual acts. So sometimes obsessions can be sexual in nature. They can also be towards really inappropriate people. So I've unfortunately had to work with patients, unfortunate for them, that, they'll have intrusive sexual thoughts about their parents. And this is why OCD is like so hard to diagnose, because when someone has really negative thoughts, they feel like a really bad person. So if you think every day about having a sexual relationship with someone that's really inappropriate, you feel really guilty. You feel like, am I really screwed up? Am I a sociopath? The number of people with OCD who I've worked with who think that they're like a sociopath is astronomical. But remember, the nature of OCD is that an obsession is not that you're like obsessed with something like, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with this celebrity or this influencer. That's not what we're talking about. You didn't want this. It doesn't say anything about you. You don't care about it. You don't like it. Most of the time, what people with OCD want is they want their obsessions to go away more than anything else. So if you have a persistent, intrusive thought that you don't like, and you tend to have some kind of ritualistic behavior, that's behavior that you repeat over and over and over again in response to the thought, that's really what characterizes OCD. So if you have OCD, what do you do about it? So this is where OCD is one of the most undertreated disorders. Remember, only 30.9% of people with OCD actually receive OCD-specific treatment. A lot of people will misdiagnose OCD as a severe anxiety disorder, and they actually get treatment for anxiety. OCD responds really well to biological treatments. Now, what do I mean by that? So if we look at psychiatric illness, there are kind of like 2 sources of psychiatric illness. It can come from your brain or it can come from your mind, okay? So if we look at like diseases that come from, let's say, from your mind, they still come from the brain in some way. But if we look at something like, let's say, a mood disorder like major depressive disorder, only about 1/3 of people with major depressive disorder respond really well with medication. What we know about major depressive disorder is that a lot of psychotherapy can be incredibly effective. You can treat depression by targeting your thoughts, changing the way that you think without necessarily doing anything to your brain, right? So we don't have to take a pill or do electroconvulsive therapy or have some kind of surgery for our brain in order to treat depression. We can treat it using psychotherapy. Now, this is also true of something like generalized anxiety disorder or socialized anxiety disorder, especially if we look at these illnesses like narcissistic personality disorder. There are really no medications that help with your personality. The personality, it sort of exists within your mind, so we can do psychotherapy to help you with your mind. There are some psychiatric illnesses, however, that I think are a lot more in the brain. So the number one example of this is something like dementia. So when someone has dementia and they have Alzheimer's disease and they have all of these like plaques in their brain when their brain tissue is kind of deteriorating, I just realized how terrible this is to talk about in a video about OCD. I'm not trying to freak y'all out. But what I mean is that there are some illnesses where there are changes in the brain which then affect the way that we feel and affect the way that we think. So I think OCD is more in the brain than it is in the mind. So we know that there are all these neuroscientific changes that we know, like, for example, failures of habituation, inability to distract yourself, sort of repetitive learning, habitual learning towards one thing, the compulsion, which is the only thing that relieves your anxiety. But there are a couple of other indicators. For example, 40% of OCD is basically heritable, which means that we know that about 40% of the illness has to do with your genetics. Some of the most interesting literature at the intersection of OCD and neurology is that describing obsessive compulsive symptoms that are precipitated by streptococcal infection, so-called pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorders associated with streptococcus, PANDAS. So what does this mean? This means that some children who get a streptococcal infection will have an autoimmune reaction that will alter the way that their brain kind of functions, and they will actually develop OCD. But we just have a lot of data that suggests that OCD can be related to things like infections in childhood. That may be how you develop it. Most people develop OCD between the ages of 18 and 29, but there are cases that it kind of gets developed in childhood. And if you're past 30, the likelihood that you will develop OCD is really low. The likelihood that if you're past 30 and you think you've had anxiety that has not responded really well to treatment or therapy hasn't worked great, then there's a decent chance that you may have OCD. So get that reevaluated. So first line treatment for OCD tends to be medication. We have some medications that tend to work pretty well. About 50% of people who take medication for OCD will not have a great or sufficient response. It can be kind of a stubborn illness. But this is also where I love it because there are particular modes of psychotherapy. So my favorite thing to prescribe to patients, I don't do it very much, is something called exposure and response prevention. So the cool thing is we have tailored certain kinds of psychotherapy specifically to OCD. And instead of going to a therapist and talking about your feelings, which there are absolutely, that can work. There are good papers that suggest that psychodynamic therapy can be very effective for OCD. But I personally really like when patients do exposure and response prevention. So what does that look like? Remember, we had this diagram. So what exposure and response prevention does is it trains you to stop this. You train this in therapy where you train your mind. It's like doing push-ups for your brain and your mind, where when you have a certain situation, the situation an exposure will create a response, right? So that response can be cognitive, it can be a thought, it can be emotional, which is anxiety, and then the response can also have a behavior or a compulsion. So how do we uncouple and relearn how to deal with these situations in a healthy way? Because remember that OCD is an illness of essentially inappropriate learning, where our brain learns that only one thing, if I feel like I'm afraid I have a contamination on my hands, the only thing that helps is washing my hands 7 times. So what we actually do in exposure and response prevention is we expose ourselves to the scary thing, but we do it in a graduated manner where we can basically handle the degree of thought or obsession that arises, and then we can stop washing our hands in a very damaging way. And then the cool thing about that is once you stop relying on the compulsion to manage your anxiety, you can start to develop other ways to manage your anxiety. And the coolest thing that I've seen in my patients is they will start to develop habituation. And once they stop relying on washing their hands, their anxiety, they feel really anxious, and then the anxiety actually habituates and it just goes away on its own. So there are a lot of, we've shared we're going to show a quick treatment algorithm. As y'all can see, it's long, it's complex, but the truth of the matter is it works incredibly well, and you can get better from OCD. But the good news is that if you get tailored treatment to OCD, there's a really good chance that you can get substantially better, and you do not have to live with severely impairing anxiety anymore. Hey y'all, hope you enjoyed today's video. We talk about a bunch of topics like this on the channel, so be sure to subscribe for more. If you're already subscribed, GG, and we'll see you in chat.
Fucking love Dr. K.
Hell yeah.
I would have to say I don't believe I have OCD. I don't think I do. Maybe I have tendencies, but wouldn't say I have OCD. But definitely make sure that you are subscribed to the Healthy Gamer GG channel. Look at her go. You're getting that shit down, Pat.
Every day.
Every day. Well, cornbread, it's about that time.
It is.
Smoke more and call it a morning show.
Yeah.
It's all yours, yo.
All right. Much love, everybody. Thank you so much for the healing vibes and stuff. We're getting there day by day, you know. Make sure you are following everybody that you're interacting with, and make sure you're following everybody in the co-production team, because you don't want to miss out what they got each and every day. Let's fuck up. Stay lifted, stay positive, and until I see y'all later, much love.
Much love, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It has been a dope-ass, totally terrific, Twisted Titty Tie-Dye Turkey Taco Token Tunes Tuesday. Hope to see everybody tonight. Do not miss it. The Rising Fall. Let's fucking go. 9 p.m. Eastern Time, only on the Sir Copsalot page and his YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Sir Copsalot's YouTube, because he puts all of his shows on the YouTube also. So you can throw them up on the TV. You can talk some shit about Man-Bear. I mean, talk some shit in the comments. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Great timeline segment. Thank you so much, Vicki Bowers, for everything that you do. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Great Dr. K. Please make sure that you're following Healthy Gamer GG on the YouTube. They got all sorts of deep dive videos into all sorts of stuff. Make sure you're following everybody on the Cove-TV production team from the one and only Sir Copsalot. Much love, Sir Copsy. Hope you're having a wonderful ass day. Can't wait for Token Tunes tonight. Don't miss out. Totally terrific Twisted Titty Tie-Dye Turkey Taco Token Tunes Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. And Guardians of Unity this afternoon. Don't miss out on that. Make sure you're following the one and only Europe Entertainment. If you need a rig, he's your guy. He is like the dopest glass consultant that you could probably talk to. If you are looking for any sort of glass and you don't know where to go with it, or who to go with it, or how to go with it, reach out to Europe. He's the guy you want to talk to. Make sure you get in on that Europe boy. Make sure you're following the one and only Man-Bear. Don't miss out on none of the Man-Bear clubs he's throwing up on all the shows and none of his all of his reels. Don't miss none of his reels. I'm trying to say two things at once. Make sure you're following the one and only Dabber Chick. Don't miss the Dabber Chick show tomorrow. Well, morning for you West Coast folks, afternoon for you East Coast folks. Make sure you're following Matt Productions. Don't miss out on anything he's got going on. And still, healing vibes. Jaxilla, much love, little man. Thank you to everybody that helped support the Cove. I would not be able to put the time into the segments and everything that I do without all of everybody that supports the Cove TV subscribers. Cove TV is literally brought to you by viewers like yourself. If you are interested in helping out with that, it's $10 a month. But probably reach out to the Cove page, because I don't have. But I'm gonna get that fixed. With that being said, I hope to see everybody this afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern Time for some Guardians of Unity, and maybe we'll get a couple of real word fake words in, since we didn't do that yesterday. Yeah, much love, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's been a dope ass morning, and cheers.
Blood don't make a family whole. It's the hearts that lift your soul. Through every storm, through every night, it's the ones who stand by your side. Laughter echoes through the years. We shared the highs, fought through the tears. No need to explain, they just know. A bond that's deeper than blood could show. It's the family we choose, the love we make. Through every stumble, through every break. It's the hands that hold you when you're alone. The hearts that stay when the shadows grow. We've built a home where love runs deep, a sacred trust, a vow we keep. Through every rise and every bruise, we stand together, the family we choose. No judgment here, no games to play, just open hearts along the way. It's not the name, it's not the blood, it's the ones who stand when times get tough. They know your story, see your scars, still lift you higher, reach for the stars. Through every fall, through every climb, It's the hands that hold you when you're low, the hearts that stay when the shadows grow. We built a home where love runs deep, a sacred trust, a vow we keep. Through every rise and every bruise, we stand together, the family we choose.
Much love, you amazing peoples. We'll catch you guys this afternoon.
Much love.